that won't mess me up. So here, this is the link that you provided here. So if I click on that link, it takes me to this broken page.
Oh
And
my
this page
God.
says Home Page, Introduction to Social Studies, and it's in an edit mode, meaning that it hasn't been, that one hasn't been completed, right?
Oh,
So I'm
that's
going to cancel
crazy.
out of there. And
That's
I'm
crazy.
going to go into your actual home page instead of the link you sent me. And here it is, right?
Okay. All right.
So this home page doesn't have a Start Here button. So it's missing some of the key elements that need to be in a home page. Let me see if there's another one I can show you. I can show you my own
And
home page. So this, it doesn't have to be like this. This is a little bit elaborate, but there's an image. There are quick links to Start Here for the modules, Q&A discussion, course policies, and then Canvas support. Now,
uh-huh.
all of this doesn't have to be there. As long as you hit the Start Here button, we could make that work. Here,
Right.
I introduced myself with and the course with a little video. That you don't have to do either. But this part needs to be here. It needs to be the instructor information, your name, contact with Canvas inbox, and
Yep.
all of this here.
Yep.
And so, yeah, so that there is, if we go back to yours, let me see, where did that go? Here. Notice that there is nowhere for students to click to begin, or instructions on how to begin the course, or when the course is, or whether the course is fully online or not. Yeah.
That is so crazy. Um, Let me grab so I can be looking at what I see on my phone from,
Okay.
I think.
That sounds
And
good.
also, and is there a way for you to also get into my actual course?
Yeah, this is it. So this is the course. Let me go.
No, no, not that. I mean my actual course that I'm teaching this semester.
I know there's no way for me to get into that. And
Because
for
that
that,
mirrors every single thing. Literally, I
uh-huh,
built it the same way,
uh-huh,
with more information, of course, but it
uh-huh.
mirrors it and has the things that you're asking for. Hold on one second.
Okay. Let me pause. All right.
That's so crazy.
So Iris, the thing is that this practice course, the one that actually you can see, that one is the one that's the proof that you're an onliner. So it
Right.
has to be in your practice course. It being
Okay.
in your real course is great. That's going to be fabulous for the next stage of like course reviews and all of that. But
Yeah.
here, let's see here. Let's go into your viewing tab. So we're just going to be in your brand new tab. And yes, so then this wasn't linked properly, but that's okay. We can go into your actual page to see what that looks like.
Okay.
All right, so let's see. Oh, it's asking me if I want to leave the site. Leave. All right, there we go. So this is your home page. There isn't a Start Here button, but if I go to the modules here, notice how the welcome letter, meet your professor, all of these things are
Yeah.
not in a page, and that these documents themselves have low or medium accessibility. This one has medium accessibility. These have low accessibilities. So that
Interesting.
means that the documents themselves are not accessible. Here,
Weird. So what you're saying is if you go and you click right now on syllabus, social justice PDF at the bottom, the syllabus, you're saying that's not accessible?
yes. So
Click on.
that PDF itself is not accessible, and then it's placed in the module in a way that's also not accessible. So
But
it has like a double thing going on.
that's so weird because literally, I swear, if I go and click on that, the
Mhm.
PDF opens up, the document opens up, and I
Ah,
can also download it.
yeah. So here's the thing. So, and it's taking a while, right? And this is a landline. This isn't even Wi-Fi for this computer. That accessibility in the onliner world, what
Yeah.
that means is that it's not approved for Americans with Disabilities Act. So,
Okay.
so it's not accessible in terms of learner disability, visual impairment, hearing impairment,
Okay.
those things.
All
In
right.
terms of, so there are two ways that we use accessible. Accessible in terms of I can get to it, like I can access my mug.
Uh-huh.
So my being able to access my mug is a way to access something. But the mug and my way to access this is not DSPS approved.
I see.
You know,
I get
so
you.
when we talk about accessibility within the course, that's what we're talking about. We're talking
Okay.
about whether someone with a visual impairment will be able to get a screen reader to read this. And the
Ah,
thing is that this is a very simple document. So there
yeah.
really isn't any reason for you not to create this document within the page itself. So let's see, we'll
I
go.
think I just don't know how to, I'm hearing what you're saying now. I'm misunderstanding interpretation and
Yeah,
understanding what that means. Because like in my mind, where it says there, welcome letter, docx, to me, I created a document. So I see I'm not understanding, I'm not properly translating the instructions. So that's okay. I'm getting my pen and pencil out here so I can get this right.
all right. So what we do is that we go to the module banner, this gray kind of area. It's the one that opens and closes the module, right?
Uh-huh.
And we're going to move our cursor all the way to the right-hand side, and we're going to add something. And what we're going to add is going to be a page. Note that the default for this right here, if I go into my annotations, let me see if that will let me do it. No, let me see there. Maybe that will let me do this. You see here?
Uh-huh.
So that, and it automatically goes to assignment, but
Uh-huh.
that's not what we want. What we need to do, and let me erase that there, is that we need to go to where it says page. It's a little click down. There's a little caret there, that
Uh-huh.
downward caret that gives you a menu. And
Mhm.
what we need is a page item. And we're going to
I had been
create,
putting files, and that's why I was messing up. I was putting file.
yeah, no, we can't put, even if it gives us the option, it gives us the option for external URL and external tool. But these two we're not supposed to use in the module system, even if Canvas gives that to us. So we click on page, we create a page at the top here, and then
Mhm.
we give it a name. The name of this page is going to be, let's start with a welcome letter, copy of welcome letter.
Mhm.
Okay, because we need that page. Anything that we add to Canvas goes to the bottom of that section. Because this is a module, it went to the bottom of that section. Can you see it right down here?
Mhm.
So I'm going to use these little pull-up draggy holders. I'm going to click on that and I'm going to push it up to where it should belong, right there.
Okay.
Now what we have is we have a placeholder. It's empty because
Mhm.
all we did was created a page and gave it a title, but we haven't put anything in it. Next up, if we were going to add the downloadable syllabus, copy of welcome letter, we would have some sort of introduction here and instructions. So instructions for students. Normally, there's some sort of greeting, a welcome. This letter was sent out a week ago to all the students on the roster. I'm providing it here again in case you'd like to review it, something like that, right?
Mhm. Yep.
And then we're going to put in the title, welcome letter. We're going to highlight that. We're going to go into insert documents. And I hope it's already in your course. So I'm going to select course document, hoping that it's already here.
Mhm.
Let me scan through here. And there it is. Welcome letter doc. Now notice that it highlights yellow a little bit over here on this side. And
Mhm.
that tells us that it took.
No.
Next thing we do is we click on link options up here. It's a little bubble. If you
Mhm.
ever come to your page and edit and you don't see this, because that's possible, let me save. It's possible that you can come into this page and then you want to edit and you don't see that bubble I just showed you. Well, you just click once somewhere in the middle of that hyperlink and
Mhm.
click on link options.
Mhm.
And then here, you're going to click on view, preview inline, and expand preview by default. So these are the two buttons way at the bottom that you're going to click, and you're going to click on done. And
Okay.
what that does when you save it is that whenever students come into the page, it will open up. So let's go back to the modules. Here you have your page, right? If you click on this, students come into this page with instructions for them, and then the welcome letter opens up. But yeah, the welcome letter opens up. Now, this is what I was saying. This welcome letter is something that you can have in the actual text. So let me copy that. I'm going to copy your welcome letter. I'm going to go back into edit. And I mentioned the instructions for students. Here, you can even make that a heading too. Instructions for students, right? And then you can say, hello and welcome. Welcome. Oh. To our course and the orientation module. This is a copy of the welcome letter I sent a week ago to the roster in Insight. Okay. It is provided for you here in case that letter got lost or filtered out of your inbox. And for the most part, it's the campus inbox. So here you can say, what's your college? LMC, right?
Yeah.
Your Los Medanos college email. All right. So then here, what we're going to do is we're going to paste. Let me see if it'll let me paste. There we go. This is what you had in your letter, right? Hello and welcome, da, da, da. Now, because we want this to have like a little bit of a separation, what we can do is insert a horizontal line so that now they see, oh, this is the welcome letter here that was sent. So we'll go in and curate this so that it makes sense, right? Or else it doesn't make sense the way it is, because there's a lot of, I just copied and pasted, so it brought over tons of code, right? So there's things in it that shouldn't be in there. So I can be fancy and go into the reveal codes and then see all of this, da 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 da, and then just erase all of it, right? Pretty much all of this other stuff here. Or I can try to see, because that's a lot of code. This whole text interior, text absolute, all of that presentation, all of that shouldn't be there. So what we would do is probably just delete from here. There we go. And then delete the span, I think. So with coding, there's always a beginning part of that code and an end part. Here's the beginning. You can see that, and I wish I could make this bigger. My other computer's better at that. And here's that end part of the code. But you don't need to know all of that. The only thing is that it becomes a little bit more interesting when you try to curate this by doing this, right? By deleting what might be code between your letter.
That's weird.
So the easiest thing is really to copy it, and then maybe I might be able to do this. Let me see. Sometimes we can clear the formatting. No, that didn't do it. The formatting is super embedded because it's a PDF, but we will do it manually like this. That's why I do recommend for letters and things that are this simple to simply just retype it.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
Retype it, or go back to your Word version of this letter.
Yes.
And then copy it from your Word version. Because I don't have that. The only thing I have access to is that the document that opens up, then I can't do it there. So then here, it looks like there's an enter here. And then here, why don't we put in, we're going to put learning material for this course. And we're going to make that like an H4. That way it's like a little bit of, and we'll make that bold. So it pops a little bit for your students, right? So you can see the hello and welcome, and then they can see this right here. And so you talk about the PowerPoints. And then here's how to reach you, right? So here, why don't we just go ahead and say communication for this course. And we're going to make that an H4. And we're going to, for the bolding and that, we do have to highlight. But if we're just creating paragraphs and whatnot, we don't have to highlight the whole thing. So reach me at, and then here we have an example of what I was saying. We really do want students to use your Canvas inbox. That's this one here, instead of using your Outlook email. Main reason for that is in the Canvas inbox, you will only get information from your students. You're not going to get the union stuff, the custodial stuff, all of that other email that we have in our Outlook, right?
Yeah.
So that's the huge reason that we're asking that folks use the Canvas inbox to check all of your mail. Now, it's not a requirement yet, right?
Plus, for me, just so you know, I'm so used to, I've been doing this as an adjunct since like 2014. I'm so used to, once I'm, engaged in the semester, I'm so used to, connecting all the time and being involved with the students of the whole bit, that none of that ever actually bothers me. However, emails and however what's most convenient for them is fine for me.
Okay.
So
yeah. Another reason to try to do this, and I know I might not convince you about this, but is that when we use the Canvas inbox, we're forcing students, when they want to ask a question to you, to actually go into Canvas. So they have to go into Canvas, and that means that once they're there, they're more likely to read your content. Or if you tell them, oh, that information is in module 1. Well, they already read it here. So it's easier for them to just jump right in because they're already in Canvas. They don't have to log in and all of that. If they're in their Outlook account and you say, oh, it's in module 1, then now if they're going to be proactive, they actually have to go and open Canvas, go and get into your course. And so it's a nice way, like when I have all my students do through inbox, if we are sharing students, that means that my students who have to communicate with me through inbox will notice that they have an assignment due for your class, right? And so now they're like, oh my God, Professor Archuleta just sent something and I have, and I haven't been in that course for a week, but they're already in there. So now they're like, let me check that out, right?
Yeah.
To see that it's already due. So again,
no, that's good. No, that's good though. That's good.
I just want to, explain what, the reasons.
No, that makes sense. No, it really does make sense.
Okay. So here, please explore the services available to you. So that sounds like it's going to be student services.
Yeah.
Our campus. And so again, we're going to click somewhere in the middle. I don't highlight. I go up to where it says paragraph and I make this a heading 4. But then because it's kind of small, I'm just going to highlight and bold it just so it pops a little bit more.
Yeah.
And so here you're telling them about their online. Oh, so this is a great place. You may check out. All right, so here I'm going to put this a colon and I'm going to make this a list, right? Because you have a list of things here and it goes all the way to student support. Here we go. So let's make, it doesn't have to be a numbered list. And the reason it doesn't have to be numbered is that you're not telling them this is the way to do it. You first do this, then you do that. You're just telling them this is a list of things that can help you, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm hitting the backspace to get rid of that extra weird paragraph formatting and hitting enter. Looking forward to, okay, so this is not one anymore. There we go. Oops. It's doing weird things here. I might have to go into the codes to do that. Okay. So then here, I'm just going to undo that bullet. There we go. So here, all of these are those bare links that I was saying we need to make hyperlinks. So here, where it says Los Medanos, da 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 da, a screen reader for a visually impaired student or low vision student would read this out twice. It would read it as the text, and then it would read it as the URL right here. And so that would be a little bit too much, I think, for students, for anybody. When I have something that's screen reading for me, just because I'm doing other things like washing dishes or something, yeah, what happens is that it annoys me, actually. It annoys me for it to read it twice. And I wish I had my fingers to just hit the tab key to make that go away. So here, what we're going to do is we're going to click once, only once in the link, click on link options. And then here, notice on the top right-hand corner, there's a box that has all of the link options. And so the screen reader would read this text right there, all of it, and then it would read the link. So what we're going to do is we're just going to make it read once, and we're going to make it read welcome services. And we're going to click done. And then that is hyperlinked right there. So we can delete this part. That's not hyperlinked. All right, then here, library online, we're going to click once in the middle of that link, click link options. And instead of the screen reader reading both of these, the text and the link, we want it to only read and say, library online, link to HTTPS, da, 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 da. So it only read it once, not twice.
You know, I got to tell you, this stuff in to be 100% honest, all the stuff that you're doing now and talking to me about now, I have zero technology proficiency at all. I'm hearing this and I'm like, thank God I'm talking to you, because I swear, this part here, I just can't do. I'm just being honest with you. I don't know anything about any of what we're talking about right now when we're talking about the tech piece, we're talking about the formatting and all that stuff, which is why I got to be honest with you, it is a miracle that I'm even teaching this asynchronous course, which I never will again, but because this just isn't, but this is, for you to help me with this is like amazing, because I just have no, and everybody, I always laugh. People always laugh. You know, a lot of other stuff, sure. Oh, Iris is brilliant. Yeah, tech, right. Right. Seriously. I'd get an F in this every doggone time I tried it.
No, and don't worry about it. I mean, there is a lot of stuff. And so for that reason, what I was trying to do was explain it in the tech, in the feedback.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, I'm not making myself clear. I can tell that I'm not making myself clear.
No, you were making yourself clear. I can't, it's just like me listening to someone speaking Italian. It's not, it's me. I have no, my brain can't process it.
It is a different language. So that's a good comparison. So here, for example, you have this link here for academic support, and it's not linked, right? This is just typed there. But what I'm going to do is I copied this here, copied the link, and then I'm going to go into the wording that you have here, the description for Center for Student Support. I'm going to click on Insert Link, and this is an external link. Even if it's part of Los Medanos, it is external to Canvas. And then done. And then here, I'm just going to delete this over here.
Oh, okay.
And so there it is. Now, because students, the welcome letter, for the most part, students get this through their email, right? They don't get the welcome letter through snail mail, postal mail. It means that in our emails, all of these hyperlinks carry over. So, and here, looking forward to seeing you. This is perfect here. And then here, you can say, if you want, and you have to curate that letter first, you can say, we're going to insert like a, please find the downloadable version below, right? And then that's it. And then so what we're going to do is we're going to save and publish because this is good to go. We're going to take a look at it. So now look at your letter. There's still some weirdness here because of all that, all that extra coding that I was telling you about here.
Yeah.
And I could probably go in and try to clean that up for you a little bit more. But it already, I don't know if you can see it. It already looks so
Looks
much
so much
better
better. Yes.
and is accessible. So if we were to run a similarity, and then even this, well, this letter still needs, you can see it still leads. And then here, I think there's a broken link. So right here, there's a broken link right here. We can fix that. So if we go into edit, one of the tools that you have that can help you with accessibility is this Pope Tech tool. And if you move your cursor over that black P right there on the bottom right,
There.
it will hover over and it'll say accessibility guide. So we're going to click on that and see if it found anything. Note here it has 0 errors, 0 alerts. So it's a perfect, in terms of accessibility for students with disabilities, a perfect thing, even though we know that it has a little bit of this formatting thing that, needs a little bit of assistance. I bring to the table, Here we will start our course together January 23rd. So that might be good to bold, You will receive a link to the room no later than the Zoom recorders, And so here we can put this here. We're going to do that as a link. And so for this, every Monday. So this class is already in the schedule of classes, right? For that? Okay. As meeting there. And then here, I know there's a link here because I saw it. Right? So let me see here where it is. It's sneaky.
Oh, wait, Michael, let me ask you what you mean. When you say schedule of classes, you mean?
So in the official schedule of classes where students go in and sign up for their meetings and all of that for their classes, where it says your course, social justice, does it say required Zoom meetings on Mondays, 9 to
No.
12?
As a matter of fact, that's what's so bad. Nothing is, the way that my course was put together and looked at it, nothing is required ever.
Okay.
Which is really, and I'll save that to the end. I won't interrupt you, but I had a couple questions to ask you about this because this is really counterintuitive for me.
Okay.
I feel like it's a course.
Okay.
But I can ask some questions about that.
No, definitely ask questions about that. So with that, sadly, what it means, and I'm going to delete this because that's giving you some weird spam thing there. And also here, I think. So there's some weird divs. These are divisions. So let me see if I can get rid of that to make this make sense. Okay. So let's see if that makes sense. Okay, good. And that way we got rid of that thing. But you can see here that you need to have it like this. Faculty, adjunct faculty. All right, there we go. It's not that I'm a perfectionist. I think it's just OCD. So
no, you know what? It's okay though. About stuff that I actually know how to do, I'm the same
there.
way, so don't feel bad.
It's still there. This little link. So if we click on that link, this is where it takes students, which would be fine, but it doesn't say disabled, disability students. It doesn't say that. So here, I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't leave it there because it's going to disrupt some of your students, not all, but some of your students will be disrupted by that.
I agree.
So
I agree.
So let me see. There we go. Maybe that will do it. All right. There. So that it got rid of that little thing there. All right. So the beauty of this is that you can go into this same copy of welcome letter, hit edit, copy the whole darn thing. Whenever I copy everything from one page to another, I do click on the reveals code because then it's like legal work. See with the numbers in the column on the left?
Yeah.
And that way I know to copy everything that's in here without leaving out a single item that I might need. And so I'll go ahead and just save that. I'm
How
going
does
to
your
go.
brain do this? How do you, God, how do you get this stuff the way you
Well,
do?
you know, a
I'm so
lot of
good with this
the,
stuff.
I'll tell you, a lot of the coding stuff I taught myself just by clicking on the reveals code, working with it, paste, like, what does this? Like, I started to notice pattern. The
Oh,
beginning, the lesser than H2 close with a greater than symbol, the title or what I wanted to say, and then the end of that. The ends always have a slash and then mimic the same thing that's at the beginning. And so I started to notice patterns in certain things. And the other thing was that I would see how somebody did something,
uh-huh.
and I'm like, oh my goodness, I want to do that. So then I would ask them, I'm like, can you share with me the code for that page, or the code for this, or the code for that? And they'd be like, sure. And so they would share with me the code, and then I would just make it my own. So I
Monica,
would
can
get
I
rid of
tell you
whatever it
something?
was they said, and then I would put in mine.
But
Yeah.
Monica, do you
Yes.
understand that you have to have the kind of brain that even understands what a code is, or that even can be prompted to ask somebody? See, don't just remember this. You have a brilliance about this stuff that isn't normal. Just know that, okay? That's not typical. I'd never be able to do that, look at that and go, think anything except for blah, 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 blah. You know, we all have our areas, but you just gotta just remember, you have a brain that sees stuff that most of us don't see. All right, go ahead.
All right. Well, you're so sweet. Welcome,
True.
letter. Welcome. Here, how about we say welcome to Social Justice Studies 110. And so this here will be, it's the exact same copy as was a copy of your welcome letter in your modules, but we're putting it in an announcement. So the reason to put it in an announcement is that now students will be able to see this. Now you'll notice that the announcement has come from me, right?
Mhm.
So my little face is there, and
Mhm.
it has my name. All you have to do is follow that same thing. And we're going to do that right now so that my face can be removed from your welcome letter. Let's see
It
here.
looks so good. I'll be able to take and transfer that over to my actual course, right?
Yes, so you can take that right over. There's ways for you to send it to yourself. Here we're going to click on the more options button right here so that we can let announcements show on the home page. And for now, just one. There are other things. Let students attach files. Yes. I will unclick let students create their own discussion topics, because that
Okay.
might be crazy making. You know, I'm
Yeah.
a little dictatorial. I don't let them do just anything they want. They can edit
Good.
and delete their own discussion replies because sometimes we make mistakes. Let students organize our groups. Oh, hell no.
No,
Because then they become very
no,
cliquish. High
exactly.
totals and grade summary, no. High distribution, yes. Because
Yes.
my
Yeah.
A students, and you probably have the same students, they will battle you over every quarter percentage point. So I am like, no, you can't see whether you're at the top first percentile or not. And I
Good.
disable comments and announcements because I don't know if my life is just too crazy, but I just can't. Announcements, I see them as I'm sending this to you,
Right.
right? That's it. That's
Right.
it. If it's confusing, Canvas inbox and ask me. But I don't want to start a whole discussion over the welcome letter.
Exactly.
You know, that's too
Exactly.
much for me. Okay, so
No,
we
I
have
hear
that
you.
there. Now you asked, can this be sent to your real course? And
Yeah.
absolutely. So let's go to your modules, because that one doesn't have my little face there. And I've highlighted here so you can see in blue. I didn't have to click or anything. And
Mhm.
I move my cursor to the three dots on the far right-hand side. Those are the more options dots. So let me click on those. And here, what we're going to do is send to. So we're going to send that to, are you Iris in your, let
In
me
my,
see. No, you're not. You're probably Sabenda.
yeah.
Okay, there you are. So now you can send things to yourself. So if you like that welcome letter and you want to send it to your real course, you can
Yes.
go ahead and select send, and then here, send to. And now I'm going to stop share. And if you can share, let me see. Oh, I look so weird with like a
No,
weird.
you do not. Trust me. I look at all this doggone. I have the same hands.
I'm like, why do I look so weird here?
No, that's what the canvas thingy does.
No, and the weather's so dry now that my hair is getting really flat.
Ours too out here. It is really. It's muggy right
Yeah.
now.
Uh-huh. So here, if you can share your screen, so move your cursor to the bottom where you have that green button that says share screen.
Yep. There you go. Now, what do I? So I'm on desktop. Now, what do I do?
So
Oh,
now just there's like a 2-button share. The other ones are blue, and desktop is fine. And then it's on the bottom right. It's like a blue button.
this is share.
And the reason they do that is that they don't want us to accidentally share something that we don't
Oh,
want to share with students. All
oh,
right.
okay.
So now let's go ahead. You can close this Zoom meeting just by going to the window and yeah.
That thing there.
And well, you probably need your calendar, so you can keep that up if you need it. But
Oh, I can close it.
yeah, okay, close it if you want, just so you can have clear view. Now find your Chrome, your browser, the way that you get into Canvas.
Oh, I get in through Safari.
Okay, so just a heads up, sometimes Safari is a little wonky with certain things.
Hmm.
And so Chrome is recommended, but let's try Safari and see if I can notice like where things are like a little bit like. And then there you have your login to Canvas. There you go. It's at the top left-hand corner of your favorites.
Where's that up
I can
there?
see the icon. There you go. It's yeah.
Oh, that is so funny. I never even used that. That's so funny.
No, let's see.
Oh
This
yeah, you
one's
know what? Now that won't do it because
no.
because if I try to do it, that it's going to go and try to go in through Keith's stuff. Let
Yes,
me
I can tell. No,
let me
that's
go
okay.
back and
So
get into
just go
my.
into the browser and then type in 4CD. Oh, Los Mandanos. I type in 4CD and structure, and it just takes me to Canvas. So try
Oh,
that out. That might work.
oh, okay, because I've never done that before. Okay, so you go 4
There you
CD,
go, and hit enter.
and
All
then I
right.
go
So that
in.
that should look better.
Hold on, I've just got to put in my little code it sends me
Oh,
to.
what
I
a
have
pain that little code is.
total pain.
Total pain. I'm
There it
surprised
is.
more people haven't complained.
You know, I just got over it. The guys in tech, they were so apologetic. There was
Yeah, they're like, oh, we're so sorry. All right, so
okay, so
now
here's the course.
we're going to go into your actual course, and this will give you a chance to show me.
And I really want you to see my actual course too, so that you can tell me all the stuff that I've messed up.
Yeah, but we do need to do the BOI practice shell because that's what I'm
Oh
creating.
yeah, yeah.
So so here, notice that in your account on the left-hand side there, you
Mhm.
have 13 things that people have sent you or something. So click.
You know, I look at those, and when I go in here to see what that is, all
Mhm.
it is actually me stuff.
That's good. Things you send yourself, that's fine. But you
Yeah,
notice there you have copy of welcome letter that I sent you, right?
yeah.
So on the right-hand side, there's a 3 options, little dots. Click on those. So it gives you a chance to preview in case you get something really weird from somebody. You're like, I don't know who Joe is. What are they
Yeah.
sending me? You might want to preview first. In this case, you can go ahead and import it because we know exactly what it is.
Perfect.
And here it's going to ask you where. So you can either use a pull down menu or you can start typing. And it's there, it's at the bottom, Introduction to Social Justice, your real course.
Yeah.
And then select a module. So go ahead and click on Orientation, start here, Introduction module. All right. And then it asks you, where do you want to place it? It should be at the top. So you go ahead and import. And then we were talking about that. If the students don't actually have it in there, and then you can close the bottom.
All right.
If they don't have it in their schedule of classes that it says they have to meet with you on Mondays, you can't even require them to do it. You
I
can't even.
know. I know. You know, only 4 people, let's see, 4 students actually showed up on Monday to actually be in there. Now, I got to tell you, and I actually could share some of that with you. It was I started getting after the lecture was over, and then I started the discussion group. Which, by the way, I have messed up my discussion thing some kind of way. I'll ask you about that in a second. But the ones that have, every single one of them, students, they were like shocked about stuff, and I'm like, it was like for example, one student, when I was telling them in my lecture the story about, because this work that we were doing before, make a long story short, we sent some Los Medanos students over to Northern Ireland, to the Peace and Reconciliation Center, where Nelson Mandela did a lot of work. And also I wanted them to see the big thing of Frederick Douglass and all, the celebration there. And so I was telling them a situation because they were caught up on this whiteness thing here. And so we were talking about it. Make a long story short, a young man, I gave him an example of a young African-American male that went over. We had an Irish woman ask him out, to a pub to see what he would say. He said, "What's it going to look like, a black man going to a pub with a white girl?" And she turned around and told him, "You know what? I am not white. I am Irish. Keep that mess in the States. Don't you ever call me white again." And so, well, yeah, because, and I was explaining to my student, and my student was like, "Well, but why?" I said, "Because, sweetie, that's what we're talking about here with social justice. White is a US thing. People in Ireland are Irish.
Yeah.
People in Poland are Polish.
Right.
People and so I was trying to, but he was very, it was such a trip. He was very, very surprised by that. And as a matter of fact, everything that we went through in the first lecture, folks were very, very surprised at. And so it hit me once again how I can't be the asynchronous person. I can't. I have to be able to teach. I have to be able to engage, and students have to be able to, like those 3 folks. There was one woman in the opening lecture, really nice woman, but every single thing that she said is based on a mythology that is US developed mythology of something, and there are these assumptions, and I need to push them. And especially being a woman of color, I cannot promote victimology. I'm not.
Right.
People of color have been through too much, done too much. The power of being, come on, to go from slave to president, give me a break. I'm not promoting victimology, not doing it.
Yes, well, you would love our Manu Ampim. I don't know if you've met him out here at Contra Costa College.
Oh God, yeah, I know Manu.
He is like, we're not doing that. Like, that is not what this lecture is going to be. We're going to highlight Nubia. We're just going to, and so, he's great at that also. And I think that students appreciate that.
But I can't do it if I'm asynchronous.
I'm trying to think of, okay, so I'm gonna let me make a note here so that I can go back and I'm going to show you something later. But right now, what I want us to finish this right here that we're doing. But yes, we'll put a pin on that. We're going to come right back to that. If you go now to your dashboard, right under that account on the left-hand side in the global navigation menu. And so click on dashboard, which is, there you go. And then select your real course, which in the tiles is there. Now, when we go into this course, like, scroll down on this homepage because we're already here.
All right.
So here, notice that you don't have a start here button. So students don't have a way to, from your homepage, which is lovely, just click into the modules. So you right now probably have expert students in your class, or students who are asking you, how do I get to the content? So click on your modules, which is right under your syllabus. And there, now you have their copy of welcome letter. If you click on it, there it is.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, wow. It's there.
It's there. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to put this in your announcement, and you're going to do this. So go ahead and click on the edit button. And I think the edit button now has a pencil instead of saying edit. Craziness.
I
You're
know,
going to
huh?
practice the whole, oh, what's going on here? See the 2.88. Can you do me a favor? Just click on instructions for students
Instructions for right here.
once. Just click once without highlighting.
All right.
So right on the title, instructions for, like at the F or 4.
Like right here.
Okay. So I'm wondering why it has that 28.279 da 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 da. That's weird. That's really, really weird. So I'm just gonna put a pin on that so I can look into why it would look like that. It's probably because of that formatting I was telling you. You know, when I copied it over, I copied it from a PDF. That was like a miracle that it even let me copy. But, you know, it brought in a lot of, PDF coding. Okay, so we're just going to go down to the bottom after the 482 word count. So outside of the screen, outside of this text edit screen, there's going to be at the bottom, it's to the
Down
right,
here. Oh, to the right.
right. It's going to say 482 words, and then you're going to have the icon for HTML coding, which is the
Okay.
less than / greater than symbol. And so
Okay.
you,
Let me
yeah,
move this over here so I can see you. Okay.
okay, and then so click on that symbol
This
up
here.
to the right of the, there you go. Click on that. And notice how it gives us all these codes, right?
Oh, yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to copy everything. So highlight everything.
Oops, oops, oops. Sorry, I almost
That's
accidentally.
okay. Start, yeah. There you go. All right. So go ahead and copy that. All right. And you can just save at the bottom. And then now we're going to click on announcements in your course navigation menu to the left. There you go. And hit the plus announcement or the add announcement blue button on the right-hand corner. All right. Now you remember I typed in, oh, this is an English, oh, this, your social justice is an English class.
Well, there's two. There's a social justice. One's there's two. It's section 2686 and 2684. So they count for both. One is English and the other is social justice. So it
Is
counts
this
for both.
also tied in with Puente or Umoja?
No, that's the one. The other professor, Adriana has that course. My
Oh,
course is
okay.
just the regular, yeah, because hers has the Puente and the honors, and the other, this is just regular
Oh,
English
okay.
and social justice.
All right. So here for the title, we can go ahead and say, welcome to English 110. And then we're going to give it the name. So it's social justice, or what's the name
Let
of
me
it?
see if they're, oops,
It,
oops.
let's just stay on the page because it'll make.
Yeah, I was gonna add, let me, because it's both, when you pull up the course, it has both it has it just both together. It doesn't separate them.
Okay, I would say put in welcome to English 110 and then hyphen social justice, and then we'll come back and edit that if that's not the correct title.
No, I think you're right. You're it. It's social just and it's yeah.
Social. Okay, now what we're going to do
It's
is
2684. I'm sorry.
uh,
There it is, 2684.
all right, so put your cursor in the text box right under the rich content editor and click once. Now we're not going to paste here because if we paste it here, we copied code, it would look like code. So what we need to do is go back to our toggle, our HTML toggle. It's to the right of where it says 0 words on the bottom.
Right
And we're
here?
going to click on that, yes, that toggle. So we'll click on it. And now notice that it's very legalese, right? It has the number bar, which I love. So go ahead and paste right there at the 1.
All right.
All right, so brought over all of your nice, lovely code. Go ahead and toggle back into regular view so you can see it. So it's again by clicking on that lesser than / greater than symbol on the
That
bottom.
one there? All right.
This will become second nature to you also, right? Now here, because this isn't an announcement, if you scroll down a little bit, past the the letter, like in the bottom part of that. There you go. Here, you can delay posting if you want. Because it's the first announcement, I normally don't delay posting, meaning I want students to get this like right away. So
Yeah, me
if you were
too.
to save or publish right now, all your students would be sent out this announcement and they would get it depending on how they set their notifications. They will
Oh,
get it.
good. Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
like to do that.
Okay, so we go ahead and save, publish, publish, save. And so now all of your students are going to get this and they get your lovely image right there on the top left hand. And I mean,
That's
just look
actually
how
a funny
pretty this
picture.
looks.
It's a crazy looking little
Pretty.
picture.
Yes. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to go to your settings in the course navigation menu to the left.
Settings.
So it's all the way at the bottom.
Okay.
And we're going to do a couple of things while we're in here. So the
All right.
first thing is we're going to scroll down a little bit here on this page, on the right-hand side page part of it. And then there's your start, your close date, June 19th. This is something very important for you to know, that our courses end like May 16th-ish. So
Oh,
that means that your course is open for a whole month after you post grades.
oh, I don't want
And
to do that.
yeah, and so, but you know, what we do is we leave it that way. So students, after they get their grade, they can come back to the course and they
Okay.
can see what they did. But you
Okay.
don't want students submitting assignments after you post grades.
Right.
That just means that every assignment, discussion, and quiz needs to have a close date. And the close date is the until date.
Ah,
Or else students will, especially our students that we have, they
yeah.
will come back and say, oh, I missed this assignment. I bet that will boost me to an A. And then they'll try to submit stuff. I'm like, I'm
Right. And
not
then,
changing grades. Our
yeah,
course
me
is
either.
done.
Me either. I'm ready. Students learn like really early on in the semester for me.
Not to mess with
But
you.
don't even try it.
Don't
It's
even
not
try.
happening.
Go ahead and scroll down a bit more. So that was one thing I wanted to highlight. Here, the format, it really should be set to online. So go ahead and click on that.
Where's that one? Oh,
And so it
format.
says format, yeah. Right now it's online. You don't meet on campus or anything, do you?
Mm-mm.
And so click
Nope.
on online.
It's literally all totally, completely nothing but they show up when they want to online thingy.
Yeah, so scroll down a little bit more and there's the more options button. So click on the more options. And this is where we're going to remember that whole show recent announcements on homepage. Click that on that little button.
Show,
It's above the 3.
show recent.
There you go. And for
Yeah.
now, 1 is good. I mean, later on, if you want to change this to 2 announcements to show or 3, you can do that. Right now, or leave it as 3. It's okay. Then here, let students attach files to discussions. Yes. Let students create discussion topics. I would not let them do that because that's going to be crazy making for you.
I agree. I'm glad I'm
Let
seeing
students
this. I never
edit their
saw
own
this.
discussions. Yes. Let students organize their own groups. No, I wouldn't let them do that either.
No.
Then here, hide, no, hide distribution graphs. If you have students who are battling you over every half point, I would hide the distribution graph.
Okay, great.
And then let's see, hide sections on the people page from students. Oh, that's a new thing. I didn't even know that was there. You don't
Oh,
have to worry about that unless these students normally, if you were in a classroom, they would all be in the same classroom, right?
yes.
Okay, then you're fine with that. And I would disable comments on announcements because
Yeah.
that, again, we need to like streamline everything. And then
I
you can go ahead and click update course details, the bottom button there, that blue button.
all right.
All right, next thing we're going to do in this same setup, move your cursor to the top where there are a couple of tabs. One of them says course details sections and click on navigation.
All right.
What we're going to do here is we're going to organize what the students see in the course navigation.
Oh, good.
Mostly, we want students to access everything by going through the modules. So click where it says modules and hold the click and then drag up. Let's see if it lets you drag up. There we go. So the very first thing is the home page, then it's the modules, then it's the syllabus. That's fine.
Ah,
Files, we would never let students just come into our file cabinet.
oh, good. Okay.
So you
Good.
want to disable the files.
Oh,
because
good.
then they get confused. They're opening stuff they're not supposed to. Unless you're going to have live chat, that means that you tell students, all right, I'm going to have live chat session Mondays, where they can come in, they click the chat and they're typing to you and you're there replying. Then disable it. I don't use my chat.
Yeah, no, I don't either. As a matter of fact, oh my God. As a matter of fact, just so that you know, you said that. I'm glad you said that. I think that's why my husband just came in and looked at me. My student drop-in hours are coming up.
Oh, okay. So let's disable that. We're going to disable discussions,
Discussion,
disable assignments,
disable assignments.
because you don't want students just going straight to the assignments. They need to
Oh,
either come and meet up with you or something.
oh, I'm so glad.
Collaborations, because you're probably not going to use the collaborations right now.
Nope.
That's kind of a higher level thing. Library's fine. Do you make them use Word?
No.
No, then you disable Office 365.
So disable, where's that?
I'm going from top to bottom. So library, then
Oh, there it
there you
is.
go. Then let's see, Starfish, leave it. I don't use it, but you might use it.
I've
Evaluate your
never used it.
professor. They can't see that. New analytics, they can't see that. Tech Connect Zoom, leave it because that's where you can have all of your meetings. Microsoft Teams, you're probably not using it, so and disable it.
Let me get that. Why is that in the way? Oh, there it is. Microsoft.
Okay, and I think that you're good to go. So go all the way to the bottom and click the save or update button. Oh, there it is. All right, and so now students, when they see your course navigation, they're not just jumping into the assignments to try to do those assignments. You don't want them doing that. You want them to go through your modules. So if you click on modules again, I'll take a little quick peek.
All right. And also, can I ask you a question while we're doing that so I don't fit?
Yeah,
For
sure.
whatever reason, I started my, I started the discussion group assignment that we're supposed to do for the BO. And for whatever reason, I can't see, I guess it automatically set up groups and I'm only in one group, I guess. So I can't see everybody else's thing.
Oh,
It's
okay.
very weird.
Okay, we'll go into that. Okay. So then again, this is the same thing that I was mentioning in terms of not having, like here, that welcome letter DOX, and you're there. Go ahead and click and remove that because you already have a welcome letter, so you can remove that there.
Perfect.
Okay. And then the rest we will just have to figure out later. But click, let's see, Zoom link, drop in. So let's scroll down a little bit more, overview. I'm looking for your discussion now. So you don't have a discussion here.
So here it is. It's let's see, it's on the, oh shoots. Okay.
No, that's okay. Click on people and let me see if you created groups accidentally.
I
I mean,
think
it's
I
okay to
did.
have groups,
Oh, wait,
personal observation group. So click on that personal observation group discussion.
Take your time. I'm gonna Zoom in case.
Oh, okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, personal observation group discussion.
Click on that. Let's see what groups you have. So you don't have any groups. So there isn't, they're really, okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I don't want to kind of.
That's okay. Go back up to module. So you're okay here. Later on, you can create groups and we can have it. So click on discussions.
Yeah, I want to show you what I did. See, this is the assignment that I set up. And so I've got folks that are engaging in it. So when I go in there, it says that since this is a group discussion, each group has its own conversation for this topic. Here are the ones you have access to. And so in other words, like it's only letting me have access to people in this so-called group that I didn't even know I set up any groups.
Okay, so you didn't set, let's go up to edit. Let's see if it'll let you change it. Sometimes it doesn't if a discussion already began. So here, scroll down a little bit to the bottom. Do you see there where you clicked? Oh, there. This is a group discussion. So you selected this to be a group discussion, but you didn't populate the groups, right? And so what happens is that many of your students won't even be able to participate. Let's see if it'll let you unclick this is a group discussion. Okay. So it's telling you that let's force it. Let's try to see if we can force it by saving.
Okay, so how do I do that?
Go scroll to the bottom
Mhm.
and save. Okay, so it didn't let you do that because it's like this discussion already begun. Now,
Ugh,
because the discussion already started, that means that even if you set up the groups now, the students
yeah.
wouldn't be able to see any of it. Let's try
Ugh,
something else. Click on edit.
hmm. I messed that up really bad.
That's okay. Let's go down to where the dates are. Let's see if we can change it there. Okay, so let's see, do the 27th available from, I guess we can't do anything there, huh?
Is there a way to delete this entire assignment? Just get rid of this whole discussion assignment, the whole bit? Then
You
I can contact
can.
my students?
You could create, now, if you have a meeting right now at 9, how about we try to set up so we can meet in a bit, okay?
Okay, what would be a good time for you?
Let me see. So I'm going to be here till 10, but let me look at my calendar just to make sure I'm not.
And actually, Keith, Keith has on for me on his computer in his office. He has it open for me, and no students have come in yet. He
Oh,
said,
okay. All right, good, because I
yeah,
didn't
he said
want
if
to.
any students come in, he'll let me know so we can stay on.
All right, okay, okay. So then, what
Because
are we
if I
gonna
could
do?
just get rid of this whole assignment right now, I think would be great.
All right, this is what I think you should do. Go ahead and just click on save. And
Okay.
what we're going to do is see if you can, oh, that's going to be so painful. Is there any way that you can have 2 screens open at the same time?
Um, how do I do that? Just go into Safari and open up a second one?
Yeah, so do you see where you have, yeah, open another window, new
Okay,
window. All right.
okay.
And then go back to your old window, copy that URL there. That'd be the quickest way. And then jump into your new window, paste. Uh-huh. There we go. So
There we
now
go.
what we have is that you'll have one is going to be your target and one is going to be where you're going to copy things from.
Okay.
So you can't delete until you start copying things over, because if you delete it in one, it's going to disappear in the other, right?
Oh,
All right. So what we're going to do is pick one of them to be where you're going to create new things. So how about this one that's open?
okay.
Let's go in and let's go into modules.
Okay.
Okay. Now in your week 1, wherever that is, module, week 1. Okay. Go to the 3 little dots on the module side. I'm actually go to the plus symbol.
Um,
So
yeah.
we can't see it. You have to move the window a little bit over. There we go.
There you go.
So add there by clicking on that add button. And what you're going to do is pull down to discussion, add a discussion. Okay. Now
I
you,
actually, to be honest with you, don't actually really need to have that assignment. You know why? I'm realizing it's pointless
oh yeah, they don't need it. It's
at this point because at this point, this far into the week and the whole bit, the whole purpose of it, it's really pointless. So,
all right. So just so you know, on that assignment, on that discussion, you
mhm,
had it set for 100 points.
yeah.
And so 100 points for those students who did do it,
Mhm.
they're going to feel like, hey, wait a second. I just, I just brainstormed and participated in this discussion, and now my work was not valued.
Well,
Or
you know what's so funny? None of them were going to get the points anyway so far because nobody discussed anything. You know what they did? They
what
both
they,
made a couple of little statements about something that made no sense. It just was a little comment. Oh, I didn't know they didn't call themselves white. It's like, okay, and the discussion there is what? I mean, seriously, there's been no discussion. So there's
all
no
right.
point yet anyway.
Well, how about this? Why don't we create a discussion so that we
Okay.
can have it, the way it should be? So let's
All right.
create a topic.
All right.
And what would, for your first week, what's mostly what you're talking about? Is it racism, US invented, or
No,
US? No, it's
actually,
not that.
it was actually about habitus. It's the importance of fact-based analysis when dealing with issues related to social justice. And it's really about habitus. I started it out, I don't know if you saw it, but I basically started out with a thing where there's a picture of of Mickey Mouse. There's a picture of
Uh-huh.
a guy on a plane, a professional guy. There's there's these different things. I said, okay, so which one's the drug dealer? So
Okay,
of course,
so how
everybody
about this?
in.
The topic can be discussion, colon, just because we know it's a discussion, but sometimes in their heads, they don't know it. So
Mhm.
create a topic where it says topic name at the bottom-ish.
Right there you
Type
go.
in discussion, colon, habitus, and then the facts or habitus,
The importance of fact-based analysis.
and the importance of fact-based analysis. I love that. And notice that it spelled it habitat. So just
Oh, it did that, huh?
did that. I don't know if your computer's trying to micromanage you
does
or
that.
not.
It loves to try to do that. Let me fix that.
There we go.
The importance of fact-based analysis.
That's great. And now all you have to do is once you like your title, is
Okay.
to add the item,
Okay.
right? And so now that discussion is placed right in week 1 module. So they
Okay.
don't have to go hunting for it. It's right where you have the, learning objectives. If you have the PowerPoint for that social justice opening day,
Mhm.
the other thing is that with weekly modules, what we try to do is provide all the content within that module. So you might want to move your PowerPoint. If they need to have first reviewed the PowerPoint, then grab the little anchor for that PowerPoint and move
Oh,
it up.
let me tell you what I was doing, because I can do it both ends. Because what I'm doing is I have two different categories. This itself is a category by itself, course lectures and PowerPoints. That's just everything's going to be cumulative there. Every week I'll add it, but each week will have its own, like week 1 thing, then there'll be a week 2 thing. But then
All right.
if that makes sense, the PowerPoints and recordings I just will have down here, so they'll have their own kind of like little column, course lecture and
Okay. That you can have those like for students to access if they want to go through the whole thing. But within the whole week 1, that social justice opening day, is
Uh-huh.
that if you click on that, is that also where the PowerPoint was embedded?
Yeah, there's in here I'm sorry, the PowerPoint's actually
Above
here.
in the
Yeah,
week
this is the
1,
recording. Yeah.
under week 1, where you have
Oh,
overview and then you have social justice. Does that social justice opening day have
oh,
the PowerPoint?
oh, you know what? You're right. It's not there. That's funny. I thought the PowerPoint was in there. Okay, I guess not. No, there is no copy of the PowerPoint in there. You're right.
Okay.
So yeah, because this is just this PowerPoints, but yeah, so I'll actually put it up in here also.
Well, just because that way in the discussion for the instructions, you might say, please refer to the PowerPoint on social justice.
Yeah.
And so then that kind of helps them.
Okay, that makes sense.
So page, maybe?
Oops.
We're
Oh,
trying to move away from files. So page
thank you and that's another thing. I'm so glad I'm learning today to do that.
and create a page. And then you can call this page name will be whatever the page name is going to be for this one.
Course introduction, fact-based analysis.
Yes, that sounds good. All right, and we're going to add the item.
And then let me go
Awesome.
ahead.
So then now what we're going to do is move that one just slightly above the discussion. So in the order, when students normally, Westerners, top down, left, right? And so we want to move the course introduction page above the discussion. So grab the little domino looking icon, click on that, and then just kind of click, hold, and then push up. There you go. And it can be right before the discussion. Normally, it's not before the overview or the learning objectives.
Okay.
Only because those are, they set the stage. But that above that one, above the discussion. Let's see if that or
Okay.
bring the discussion down, whichever is easiest.
Yeah, let me just bring the discussion. Come on,
Grab
Iris.
it by the, yeah, there you go.
There we
There you
go.
go. Now we're going to jump into course introduction, fact-based analysis. And because it's just a placeholder, doesn't have anything in it, right?
Not yet. Mm-mm.
And so what we're going to do is we're going to edit. And then here I recommend saying something very simple like student or instructions instructions for students or something like that so that students know. Read this and tell you what you're supposed to do with it.
Exactly. Detailed,
Awesome. All right, and you can hit enter just so you get a new line. And then here, click once like on the G of assignment or anywhere really there. I just don't highlight. There you go. And then click above in the rich content editor and make this an H2 so that it's a header 2.
Where'd you go? You said
Paragraph where it says 12 point and then it says
Oh.
paragraph. Click
Uh-huh.
on paragraph. And then it'll give you an option for heading 2. So click on
Ah.
heading 2. There you go.
Oh, let me capitalize those.
Oh yeah. You're like me. I love doing the title caps.
No, me too.
All right. And then put your cursor below that now. There you go. And then here, give them instructions. So you can say, please take a look at these PowerPoint slides. Take notes while you're going over each slide. You will be able to use your notes you're encouraged to use your notes as we work through the discussion coming up or something like that.
Yeah. Oops, your notes. Through. That makes sense. You're encouraged to use your notes as we go through the
Yes.
discussion assignment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then if you want, you could say coming up this week, if you want to make sure that it's a little bit clear that it's imminent.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, period. All right. Then now hit a hard enter return. And then here, let's say the title of this is, I forget, the Social Justice Opening Day. Is that the title of your whatever the title of your PowerPoint is? Or
I think it's called, let me, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna have to drag and drop it out anyway. So it's Social Justice Opening Day PowerPoint.
Okay, so there, let's just type Social Justice Opening Day.
Oops, I didn't mean to open it up. I'm sorry. Let me get
okay.
out of the way.
That's okay. That's okay.
Okay. Okay. The title of the PowerPoint is Social Justice Opening Day.
All right. So next up, what we're going to do is you're going to highlight that title, including the quotations if you want. All right. And we're going to go up to the top where it says insert, because we're going to insert a document. And the document we're inserting is your PowerPoint that you already uploaded to the course. Now, if this was a fresh document that you never uploaded to the course, then you would
I should put it in there since I just took the other thing out. So maybe I should just put it in here now.
Yeah, yeah. So you can, if this works, because you already have it, you would click on course documents. But
Okay.
let's say it was brand new and it was not in your course at all, then you would upload a document and you would bring it from your hard drive over.
There it is.
Okay. And then go ahead and click on the save button or whatever that button is. It's hiding from me.
There
Submit.
it is. There it is. Uh-oh, it's got you guys, got you blocked. Okay, there you go. Submit.
All right. And now it highlighted yellow. So now click once, like maybe where it says justice, just once, and then click on link options. Now, do you remember that whole preview inline business? So click on preview inline
Yeah.
and then click on expand preview by default
Ah, that's right. That's
and
right.
then done.
That's right.
All right, awesome. Now you can save and publish.
All right. Now save and publish.
Mhm. So when students come into this page, and you can see it's got minimal accessibility in terms of the whole screen reader thing, right?
Yeah.
But in order to do that, you would have to go back into the original PowerPoint itself and then check accessibility there. You know,
Ah,
but for now, you've got students now having to deal with this.
yes.
So we want to give them something to look at and take notes on and keep them busy a little bit.
Yes. Since they aren't doing anything else.
Right. Yeah. And so now this will just open on its own. It's taking a little while, probably because of the images. But scroll down and then hit the next button. And so this is what we recommend for students. We recommend that they go and hit the next button. So now we're going to go to edit this because it's a discussion that's not a discussion yet with instruction or anything.
That's
So go ahead
right.
and click
Oh,
edit.
that's right. You know what? And oh, good. So this is destroying all this on the other page, right? This is taking over.
It's not. What it's doing is it's adding this one. So the reason I asked for the two windows was
Yeah.
just in case you wanted to copy the posts from your students and populate this new discussion.
No, I probably want to get rid of that whole thing.
Oh, okay. So then here, what we normally try to do is we try to tell students when they're going to have their first post due and their peer replies.
All right.
Mine, and I can even send this to you if you want it, the way
Yeah.
mine look.
I'd
Mine,
love
I
it.
tell them your post and replies are due on Thursday.
Oh,
But
good. Okay, good.
post and replies due on Thursday, right?
Good.
And so then I tell them by the end of the day, or I tell them by 10 p.m. because I don't want to be up after that. But
Good.
that's a little bit going to be tough for you because then every time you create something, you have to change the time instead of just leaving the default. The default for Canvas is 11:59 p.m.
Oh, the default is fine.
The default. So
Yeah.
then here, what you're going to do is put your clicker somewhere in the middle of the text there. And then this we know is going to be an H2 because it's the heading for this page. So you might as well click on paragraph and then make this an H2, a heading 2.
All right.
And here what you can do is say post and replies for this discussion.
Oops, I'm sorry.
And if you just want it to be one reply, you can just say one reply. If you want it to be 2 replies mandatory, you will tell them later on. So for example, posts and replies due.
Oh.
And you
Due.
can have it another line if you want. If you want it, if it feels more organic to have it on the
No, that's
next
fine.
line.
I can say post and replies due on
Due on Thursday,
mhm.
which is tomorrow, gives them a full day
Yep.
on Thursday by 11:59 p.m.
Perfect.
And then if you like the template for this, you can just keep copying this template for new discussions.
I will
And
because I
just
like it.
change the prompt. Okay, hit enter.
Mhm.
And then here, go up to paragraph and select paragraph 3, heading 3. I'm sorry, heading 3.
Okay.
And then type in, based on the slides for, and then it was called a social justice opening day. Okay. Okay, then hit enter, return. PowerPoint, okay. All right, so here, this is going to be a paragraph. This is where you just give them the instruction. You can say, after having reviewed and taking notes or taken notes on the PowerPoints, And this is where you give them the prompt. Please post your original reply to this prompt. And then colon, and then you give them a prompt. So the prompt is, what do you want them to discuss? So you don't want them just willy-nilly to say, oh, I didn't know that only US used the term white. You know? Right? So you give them a prompt that helps them sort of understand, you know, so it can be something.
It was really just what about this what did you how did I say it? I said, what about this presentation opened your eyes to something, or how did I say it? In other words, I really wanted them to tell me what, although I'm going to rephrase that a little bit too.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, I mean, about your previous understanding issues discussed during lecture, and how have they been changed? Tell us about your previous understanding of the issues discussed during lecture and how they.
All right, notice that it switched over to habitat instead of habitats.
Why does he keep trying to mess with my stuff?
You've got like a dictator computer over there, micromanager.
Like,
all right, so this is great. Now, suggestions in terms of formatting, we're going to go ahead and put our cursor in the space between the second line based on slides and the third line after. So click there. Now click on insert.
Click on insert.
There you go. And then go all the way to the bottom where it says horizontal line. That way your heading can look like boom, like heading, and then it just kind of eases the eye, trains the eye to go down. Next here, we're going to
it really changes the dynamic of it a lot, just that line.
So kind of like I think it gives it focus. So here after mindset, hit the return. Hit the return. Just go to the next line. And then here, do you want your students to post once and reply to only one person or reply to at least two?
You know, I wanted to ask you that. I think I wanted to get your opinion on that.
I am a reply to one person only.
Good. You know what? Because I feel the same way, and I didn't want to kind of like squash discussion, but I actually think that if there's going to be dialogue that's actually valuable at all, between two people is fine.
It's fine. And then so what I would say here is like after you post your prompt reply, because that makes sense, you know, since they have to hit reply. Comma, stay in the discussion and reply to at least one of your peers' posts. And then period. And then you can say, find someone who hasn't had a reply. You know, like, don't pick the same person because sometimes they can gang up on someone.
Yep.
Okay, period. And then let's see. Now, if you have any parameters, must be at least, 50 words. Original post must be at least 50 words.
You know what? I'm glad you said that because I don't like these little 10, 12 word responses. Okay, good.
I sometimes I don't give them word count. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, the course reviewers want to see a word count. I
Okay.
am not really a word count kind of person, you know?
Okay.
So I tell my students to be substantive,
Good.
in
Good.
their replies. And I tell them, I say, please don't make me put in a word count.
Okay.
So I'm
Okay.
like, if you guys can be substantive, then I don't have to micromanage how many words you're typing out,
Good. I'm gonna put on there. Good. I'm not. I'm gonna say I will not grade brief comments because little stuff like I said, one person was just like, oh, I didn't know they didn't want to be called white. Okay, and that is what?
Yes, I know. That's not substantive. All
Right.
right, now let's see. I would put in an insert line. So hit return just so the line's not inserted in a weird place. And insert a horizontal line. And what we're going to do here is that we're going to give them just-in-time resources. What the just-in-time resources are, you have a brand new student, a 14-year-old who's in your class, has never used Canvas. They don't know how to post. They don't know how to reply, right? So here, they're called that just-in-time resources. Or or resources, or you know what, just type just-in-time resources. Because your reviewers will understand what that is. I think your students will also, once they see what it is, and then hit the enter key. And we're going to make that maybe an H3 or H4, depending on what you like. So
This
that
one?
can be, so you can go ahead and make that let's test out an H3. So that would just be paragraph, and then select H3. I think it looks good as an H3.
I do too.
And so then we're going to go right underneath that. And so this is a paragraph already, yes. And here we're going to type Canvas guides, Canvas student guide, colon, how to participate in discussions. And then maybe space parentheses, posts and replies. And then end parentheses. Okay. Now here, what we're going to go ahead and highlight should be the whole thing, but that's like a lot for a hyperlink. So maybe what we're going to highlight here is Canvas student guide, all the way to discussions. I know that's a lot.
That's not bad, I don't think.
All right, there. Now what we're going to do is open up a new, go ahead and move your cursor to the top right to the plus, and I think that's how you can add a new tab for yourself.
Up there?
So we're going to add a new tab, and here type in Canvas guides, student discussions. All right, and then hit return. And what I'm hoping to get here is, there you go. So click on the how do I reply to discussion as a student? Let's see if that will take us to what I'm looking for. Great. Copy the URL from the top there. And then we're going to jump back to your edit discussion topic tab, which is right below that. Yeah. And then here, that highlight bit, now go to insert. In the rich content editor, and we're going to insert a link. And though it's an external link because it moves them out of this course, right? And so then where it says link, paste that link. Awesome. And then done. And then now we're not quite done with this discussion because we still have to scroll down to the bottom and give them the parameters. So we want this to be an allow threaded replies means that post and then the indented replies. Don't save yet, only because you have live students here. And we
Ah.
don't want this to go out right away, right?
Uh-uh.
So click on allow threaded replies.
Uh-huh.
Now this is what I do is I don't let students see other people's posts until they post their own original thing.
Oh, good. Okay.
That's what I do. So you can
Okay.
click on users must post before seeing replies.
Perfect.
If you want, this should be graded because you really do need to have some assessments in here. So graded. Don't click group discussions unless you want this to be a group discussion. Just let it be a full class thing. All right,
Perfect.
possible points, however many points you think it should be. It
Let
can
me
be,
ask you a question. Do you think that 100 was too generous?
I think it was. But
Okay.
it's, because then they could have done well on this one assignment and then done poorly on other like 20-point assignments. Unless all of your assignments are going to be equally weighted.
Actually, to be quite honest with you, that for me was a very small amount of points.
I'll put 100 then. If that's
Because
small,
for me, that's like minimum.
minimum, put 100 then.
Yeah, because people really find out pretty quickly with my course that I'm not kidding. You want to get an F, play games.
Yeah.
But you know what? But I gotta say, and my husband will tell you the same thing. I say this, I know it sounds stupid. I say it so much, and I think it's because it just blows my own mind.
Mhm.
Monica, I swear, there's never been a semester yet where either students didn't want to, when it was face-to-face, want to have a party and then have a cry fest, or just at the last thing are like crying and stuff. And I never knew this. I never knew that I should do this. And oh, I'm just, and now I've got all these doggone kids, grown folks almost as just maybe 10 years younger than me now, but I now have all these doggone because they actually appreciate getting pushed.
Mhm.
And the ones that don't, they drop. It's
They,
cool.
they drop. Yeah, they're not going to be there.
No.
Now, in terms of assignment groups, you can just keep everything in one assignment group. That's fine. I weight my assignments. So I have like a final research paper assignment group, critical
Yes.
analysis assignment group, and then
Yes.
positive participation assignment group. All of
That
my
makes sense.
discussions are within the positive participation assignment group. So
I
it's up
like
to
that.
you, and you can reconfigure if you want. But if you want to set that up now, go to
Yes.
assignment group
Go
and then
to,
click that down a little bit there on the assignments, where it says assignments.
oh, here's Simon
Yeah,
Group.
just click that and you can label new group. And then it's going to ask you to give a title. So click new group, and then you can call this positive participation. I say positive in my stuff because people think that just ragging on other people and being negative somehow is
Exactly.
participation. I'm like, nope, contribute something, be positive. All right, here, now the assign. The availability, if you want them to be able to access that today, which is a good idea because this is due tomorrow,
Yeah.
then I would leave that open. So click on where it says due date. Your due date is tomorrow, the 26th. And you can just click done because you left the default 11:59. That's why I'm saying it's easier to just leave the default.
I agree.
Close until I give all of my students a 24-hour late grace period on everything, just because stuff happens in their life. But the
Such
first Friday, yeah,
good. I agree with you.
and done. And so then from now on, you can make your discussions available. If you want, they can be available at the top of the week on Monday. I make mine available on the Wednesday.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so it would open up today, and then it'd be due tomorrow, and then it would close on Friday. And so because
Oh,
I
okay.
keep that rhythmic like that, then I
Yeah.
tell students, look, all discussions, this is the bit here. So you
Okay.
can, and then if you select today, you can go ahead and select something standard like 8 a.m. If you feel, and then you should also tell them maybe California Pacific time or something, just in case you have students out in Thailand, somewhere else,
Yeah. I always make sure it says that because
Mhm.
you're right about that. Because yeah.
And so here, if this can open at, let's just say 8. 8 is a kind of, I want to say normal waking time, but who knows?
I
Yeah.
think it pretty much.
Yeah, I like maybe not, but but 8 is. normal waking time. I'm up at 5, so I don't know.
Oh,
All
so
right,
you're
there.
you're not normal. No.
Yeah, no, I totally am not. So you can go ahead and click on the save button there. And so now what's going to happen is you're going to have, this is now there. So for students,
Perfect.
this will tell them, hey, this is due, here's that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to grades, your grades tab on the in
Now,
the course
did-
navigation menu.
And this is overriding all this messed up stuff I had on the other,
This
yeah.
created a brand new one. So for
Yeah,
the other one, we can go and delete the other one that you don't want to function. So
that's
click
what
on
I'm gonna
grades.
do.
And let's see, go to the top where it says individual view and change that to gradebook.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So you can see everybody. All right.
Perfect.
So now you see that you have the discussion habitats right there. Move
Yeah.
your cursor to the 3 dots option there.
Where, right here?
Above in the there you go. Did you see it highlight? It's within the title of the discussion habitats.
Oh, there it is.
You see that little 3 dots? Click on that.
All right.
And then now click on message students who. All right. So now instead of saying no submission for, I think that's very negative. So
Right.
you rate where it says no submission for and keep discussion. So what I will say is please participate in.
Please participate. Oh, good. I like that.
It's a little bit more in I guess we got to put
Yeah.
in the discussion, In your message, you can say something like, hope week 1 is coming along nicely for you, right? In
Yep.
all your classes. Going to be magnanimous. All right. And then here is a friendly reminder to access content for our course by navigating the modules list. Period. The modules tab is located on the left side of the screen. Once you're in our Canvas course.
Oops. Wait, once.
Okay, period. And then, so hit enter. And again, and then just say, take a look at the Habitats PowerPoints. PowerPoint presentation.
Again.
Yeah, I know. It should learn. Is
Yes.
it Habitats with an A or with a U?
You.
Oh, then we need to change it up and
Oh,
up.
oh God, what did I do? Oh my God, let me just check something really fast. I don't
Okay.
think I did something that goofy, but let me make sure that I didn't do something here.
No, there it is with a U.
Okay, good. Okay,
Go
good.
with
I
the
was
U.
getting ready to say, did I do something stupid? Okay.
No, it's okay. With a
Yeah.
U. But I think in the discussion, it might be with, we'll go back and make sure. Take a look at the Habitats PowerPoint and take notes.
You know what, actually, yeah, because okay, good. Yeah, because that's good.
Hmm.
It says the importance of fact-based analysis. Good.
And take notes. Then jump into our discussion
Good.
for this week. I would suggest having just only one discussion per week,
Yes.
or else it'd be crazy making for everybody.
Yeah, you know, as a matter of fact, I was going to ask you, I don't know if I actually even should have one every week. I was going to ask you that. I thought that it would make sense too, but I wanted to get your opinion.
It's recommended because
Okay.
we need to have that sort of student to student interaction, and then we need to have the professor presence in
Okay.
the discussion. And that's
Good.
kind of one of the only ways to be able to do this, which mimics what you do in the classroom, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So then jump into our discussion. I would say hit and enter. And then I would be rhythmic with this. Say, all discussions open Wednesday morning.
Discussions open Wednesday morning.
Are due Thursday night. And will be kept open. Let's see, I use the term late grace period.
Late grace period?
So I'll say will be kept open as part of my late grace period. So they can see this as a favor.
Yeah, because it is.
Until Friday night.
Yes.
Night. And then I am bossy. I say, please don't miss out on this opportunity. It is a graded discussion.
Okay.
And you might even say required. I know we shouldn't say required. Like everything in our course is required. So why do we have to say required?
Exactly.
It is a graded discussion.
You know, I agree with you. I don't know. I didn't have the privilege of thinking that I could just like do stuff if I wanted to do stuff and don't do it if I don't want to do it when I was in school.
They crack me up, our students. Oh my goodness. All right. And so then here are just some sort of like goodbye salutation. I'm super cheesy, so I'm always like, have a nice day, or
It's good.
you know, like
I always say, have a great day.
there you go. Great day. And then you sign off. So if you want them to call you Professor, yeah, Archuleta. And then you can go ahead and save. What I do a lot of times is I copy this before I send it out, and I put that in a Word document.
Smart.
That in case I want to mimic that sort of language later and in other messages,
Yes.
that I have that same language.
I think that's totally smart. I'm going to do that right now. Make a little, oops, that's not a Word document. Okay. Do that right.
And so I have a Word document that's called student feedback and message students. And so, you know, so I just keep that there so that I know that, okay, that's right. I remind students about this. I remind students about that. And so, especially with long COVID, I really do forget a lot of things.
You know what? Me too. It's that I have to really, 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 really make notes and focus and stuff to.
All right. So I think this is good to go. You can go ahead and send.
Send.
And now all we have to do is double back and make sure that the discussion is properly spelled, because I think we spelled it habitas. Oh, habitus. And
Yes.
so click on there, that link there, click on that.
That is wrong.
And then click on edit.
Edit.
And we're going to edit that so that it actually is spelled correctly.
I can't believe I did that. Miss Habitus, lecturer all over the world.
And then let's see if it's there. Oh, you spelled it correctly there. And let me see further down. Yeah. Okay, that looks good. So you can go ahead and save that. And then we'll go back to your PowerPoint title, because I think it's misspelled there as well. So scroll down and then hit the previous button on the bottom left. There you go. Fact base. Take a look at this PowerPoint. No,
it's right.
It's right in the title as well. Let me see.
Where's the title?
Social, yeah, it's called something else. It's called Social Justice Opening Day.
Yeah. I just have it Social Justice Opening Day on there.
All right. So, and you didn't get any students in your drop-in?
Not one. You know, I gotta tell you, can I tell you this? And I know you got a bunch of other people you got to talk to, but I just want to tell you before this conversation today, And my husband will tell you, I've been very sorrowful. I've been feeling very, very sad that I even accepted this course because I thought, well, what am I going to be doing? I'm not going to really be teaching. Students are going to do this, that, and the whole bit. And just kind of feeling kind of out of the loop and stuff. But I got to tell you, talking to you today and having you help me with this, seriously, makes a lot of difference. I'm a real, I don't know, I'm a people kind of comrade kind of person. And you've been really, really nice anyway. I've thought, oh my God, what the heck am I doing? Because the truth of the matter is I didn't even understand. I tried, I swear I tried. I didn't understand any of the things that I had messed up that I needed to fix today. I didn't understand what it meant. And so,
Oh,
and so now I'm serious. You have no idea how much I appreciate this because it is this, all of this is so counterintuitive to me.
I
I didn't even
know.
understand there was anything asynchronous, meaning students don't have to ever even talk to me if they don't want to.
They do have to talk to you. So one of the things that we can do is, let me show you one of my modules.
All right.
And within our BEOY, if you go through the modules on the pages, there are examples of what to do. So for example, let's take a look at week 2. And this is the Latin American workers in the US.
Yes.
So for example, there is going to be an overview page that tells them, welcomes them to the page, tells them what the learning outcomes are for this week, reminds them to go through the modules, and then lists just all of the assignments that they will have, as well as tips.
Wow.
And so because I placed everything in order the way they need to access it, they can just click the next button in the lower left that will take them then to the next assignment. 3 sources, start thinking about your research paper. And I'm specific, use Word. So then I have for them instruction here. I've got cheat sheets for them, encouragement to use the library, and then I walk them through, which is so super cheesy. Hey there, I'm going to try to. I walk them through how to use Word to format because they are driving me bananas with all of their weird formatting. And then I have here the assignments, but I also use the rubric so that I do have things to say, great job, you cited 3 sources that are relevant to your topic, right? And then I give them points. But I'm so nutty that I'm like single space each heading. Each of the following separately, your name, class, and date. I just hate when they put like quadruple spacing and it's just center justify your title.
Yeah.
Single space your sources with double space between sources for their use hanging indent paragraph formatting. So they get points for being able to. All sources have a named author, producer, editor, director, etc.
Wow.
Sources are arranged in alphabetical order by author last name. Web sources include a source URL. So I include these rubrics for them.
I love that.
Because I'm trying to guide them to do that. If I go into SpeedGrader, it's ultra easy for me to grade because I can pull down on the rubric here and then just bam, bam, bam. I look at their stuff and I'm giving them points. They got it, they didn't get it, And so I give them their points, I save it. I'm not going to save this because it's a real person. But then I use the comments. So I have here a library of comments, which expedites my whole thing. In the library of comments, I might have one that's for sources. Let's see, upload, great topics. So here's like a great topics thing, right?
Oh my
Upload your
God. How did you know how to do all this stuff?
I go to every single webinar training that I can. So for example, here, you can see I already have it typed out because I noticed that I keep typing the same thing to all my students. So what I'll do here is that I have, thank you, Nadia, so I'll put in their names. And then if they have something in their document that they did well, I'll highlight that and change that. If they didn't do it, I'll leave it probably the way that is. And so I'll da-da-da warmly. If they need it, I'll give them a document. I'll give them whatever document that was that I might have, like the MLA formatting document. So let's say that was the MLA formatting document. I'll attach it there and I'll say, P.S. please open and take a look at the format in the document, whatever. Normally it's the MLA. I call it template or handout or whatever. Then I
Yeah.
submit and I save. Here, I'm not going to do this again, real person, but I can attach things. I can create little videos and record or record with my voice so that this sounds harsh. But I'm like, great job. These are wonderful sources. So a couple of tips, then they can see that I'm enthusiastic. I'm not chastising.
Right, that you're really helping them.
It does. And then this little thing helps me type. It's speech recognition. I use this a lot when I'm on my phone grading. So for example, let me see here. I will say, you are doing a wonderful job. I look forward to meeting with you later tonight. Bye. So then,
Oh my God.
and so then that will type in
Oh my God.
that section. So the only thing for me to remember is that if I'm using the voice recognition, it's going to delete everything else that I had. So I might use the voice recognition first and then add the comments later, or I might just 3 sources. What I might do is just add another box. So I might save this and then add another comment box with the voice recognition thing. So there's
Wow.
all sorts of things that can be done here. Let me cancel this.
So you're perfectly equipped to do this online stuff for sure.
I really love doing it. It took me a while to be able to do it. So it wasn't automatic. It wasn't an automatic thing,
It's hard.
but I just keep going and learning, and anything new that comes out, I'm like, teach me, show me,
Yeah.
so then I have a library orientation right up here, and there I just ask students to go to their library and to write up a 1-pager about their library. So simple, right? So,
Wow.
but I want to set the stage for research.
Yes.
I'll have here, so these are my PowerPoints, my example of PowerPoints. I chunk them out. Cheesy video with me explaining.
Hello, welcome.
So and I could go over
Centrality of
so I go over what it is, that we're doing.
That is so funny. Oh God, my husband and I were just talking about the war last night.
I
We were
agree,
just,
you talk about the war.
yeah.
This
Well,
is
it's interesting because we just had this because our last name is Archuleta. And so I know who JR and JM Archuleta are and the war, the whole bit. And so we had a chance to go to Archuleta County
oh,
and
wow.
to go visit and just look at like we went into the city hall and just the way that they're honored, of course, in Archuleta County. And it was just an amazing experience. But it's one of those things where students don't even know anything about that history.
No, they don't. And they're shocked when
They
they
are.
make them take a map quiz. And when they see what all the territory was, they're just floored.
They are. They have no idea.
Yeah.
None.
And so let me see, did I do something wonky here? Okay, so for example, I just changed my video here because it had some weird thing and now it's not showing. So I'm going to show you this little tip. Go into the 3 dots, and this only works for pages. And then click on view page history. Oh no, actually it did show up. But
Here you are.
you can still do this. You go to view page history and it will show you the last time it made sense. And so you can go back. If I wanted to go back to December 17th, I can restore that version of it. So this is a great place to go back to your latest and greatest. But here it looks like it did update, except it's being slow. I don't know what this is being. But anyway, I wonder if I should be nervous that it's not showing.
Is that it? It's coming back? No.
Yeah, because it was showing, but now it's like,
where is it?
I'll come back to it and see.
Oh, there it is.
And I only went in to change it because it was showing a more options videos for my students. So I inserted code so that it won't do that anymore. So that's why I jumped in and did that. But you're right, all of this, it helps our students when we can sort of present things. I use headers a lot. I will go ahead and have like a quiz. The quizzes, you can have a quiz on your habit test,
Mhm.
because it is just, did they actually review, right? And so here there's 20 points, ultra easy. I give them 240 minutes. They don't even need that much time, right? They get 3 attempts at the quiz, meaning that it's really like homework. I am
Yeah,
not testing nurses or doctors, right?
right, right.
I just want to encourage them to actually look at the material.
Yes.
And so this gives them points, and students are always so happy to say, I got 100% on the first try. And they
Ah,
share that with each other. So
ah.
then I use curated content. So I use
How do
Canopy,
you,
and
how do you do those attempt things? I want to learn. I'm going to learn how to do those, giving the
let me go back.
attempts.
So the attempts, when you create a quiz, if you go into edit, there are 2 parts to the quiz, right? The format. It's the details, which is all of this here.
Yeah.
And then here at the bottom, the quiz type is a graded quiz. It goes in the participation section for my class. Is that right? Yeah. It has, I shuffled the answers so that they're not texting them each other. Oh, the answer key is 1, 3, 4, and then none of that. Time limit. And then here I allow multiple attempts. I keep
Nice.
the highest score. Some faculty like to keep the average of all 3 scores. I just keep the highest.
Yeah.
I allow the 3. I let students see their incorrect answers, but once after each attempt, and I let them see the correct answer only after their last attempt. That's where they can
Ah,
see the correct answers. And then
smart.
here you go. This should be a 24-hour thing, but because
Yeah.
this class is a late start, I want to give them a little bit more time. But in my grading policy, I tell them they have an automatic 24-hour late grace period.
Ah,
But then I fudge this, so it's a little bit more. That
yeah.
means that if a student says, oh no, I'm sorry, I missed my 24-hour, I'm like, don't worry, I can be magnanimous, right? Oh, don't
Yes.
worry about it. Go ahead and jump in and participate, I'll
Yeah.
reopen it for you. And so then they come in, they feel good that they got an extra shot at that. And
Good,
so,
good.
but it does help. So include a quiz, even if you're just asking them 3 or 4 simple questions
Yeah.
about the slide.
I like,
It doesn't have to be tricky or anything. Um, but then I include normally something from Canopy, Films on Demand, because those are already subtitled and then relevant to whatever it was that I was presenting myself.
oh,
Because
so
just me,
Canopy
me,
is
me,
subtitled. Okay.
yeah, because just me is going to be boring for students, I think. So I give them a variety. I give them me, and then I give them other experts so they can see that I'm not lying.
You know what? That's what too. And in my PowerPoint, if you ever look at it, you'll see that too. I do that too. So I'm glad you do the same thing. I have a lot of different PowerPoint experts, people who actually, it's like, okay, well, you can say I made this up, but no, I didn't. Here, listen to this.
Here it is. Yeah.
And yeah, but I do like to do that, include those. They get a lot of those in my class.
And then in some of the instances, I don't think I do it here, but in some of them,
Hello, let me
I do. Like in this, I share with them the book. Do I read it? I might actually, no, I don't. I don't read it.
elsewhere in Central and South America. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. All right, so Latino immigrants and the transformation.
So then I have a little intro and then I share my slide. It's all captioned, so you can see here that they have English captions and not English generated captions. And so
Mm.
all of this is provided to the students because they do have a book, right? But in case they haven't purchased their book, I'm just going to give them all the content. And so here they have another quiz on that reading and chapter. They have an extra credit, and here I can see that my image didn't come through. Girl writing a project to do. See? So I can see that my image did not come through. It's not there. So this is something I'm going to have to edit to replace the image. But because I had an alt description for my image, it
Yeah.
didn't say here file247.jpg. That
Mm.
doesn't tell. So even if it's broken, a student can see that it was supposed to be an image.
Ah.
And then the last thing that I have, I wrap up all of my discussions, all of my weekly modules. I wrap them up with an end of week discussion.
Hmm.
Only one. And here mine is discussion, post and reply. Get your points now. And here it tells them to post. I tell them your post is due Thursday by 10. I say here, please post by noon to give your classmates an opportunity to reply to your original post. So I give them a little bit more there. Here I tell them a bit of self-assessment. What challenges did you face? How did you overcome them? You can practice a bit of self-assessment by visiting the grades page before the end of week discussion. Have you been able to complete everything within the weekly module? Have you been able to read the feedback and see your scores? If you are unsure as to how to view feedback from your instructor, please take a look at the Canvas guide, right?
Nice.
And then I have the reply. I say your reply is due Thursday by 10. Please reply to at least one classmate's original post. Again, this is due on Thursday by 10 p.m. In order to complete this assignment, please reply to one of your classmates. Remember that kindness and respect go a long way. Try to always be positive when communicating with your classmates. Be substantive. Please don't make me put in a word requirement.
It's
like, think,
okay.
I know, like think 3 sentences minimum, right? And then I have a little, want to dig a little deeper and like check out these website resources.
Nice.
Southwestern Writers Collection, Southwest Carpenters. It's an article. Have a beautiful day, Monica. And then I have a PS. It's sort of like, please review the Canvas guides for discussions. Start the video at the 2.10 mark. Note that I disabled discussions from my course navigation menu because you have each discussion strategically placed within the module's list of items. Please view how blah, 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 and then show rubric. So I have a rubric for this assignment. It's generic for all my discussions. I go into the 3 little dots at the top right-hand corner, and then I click on show rubric. If you don't have a rubric, then you can add rubric. And notice, super simple. Original and fully developed post, full marks are 5 points, partial are 3 points. Substantive reply to your classmates' original post, full marks 5 points, partial points 3 points. So for your discussions, because it's 100 points, you can make the original post be like 50 points and the peer reply post be 50 points. And that will add up your 100 points.
That makes sense.
And so that is the one module. It has content.
Wow.
So we'll have content, assignments, quizzes, assignments, and then one discussion. Here's week 3. Week 3 is very similar. It has a little bit heavier assignment, so I didn't put in as much content here. So it has 2 big assignments. It has content, quiz, content, extra credit assignment, and end of week discussion.
Wow.
Yeah, so and then overview 4, it has the overview, it has a final research paper topic. They just have to say, I'm going to write about this. That's all the assignment is. They have content, quiz, content, and a week 4 discussion.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's sort of how I set these up. And
I love your course content. I'm gonna take your course.
It's a lot of fun. And sometimes, and then I have a catch up, wrap up, stay ahead. And this is just because we have spring break. So I give them something to do in case they want to do that. And then I open up the next week 9 early for them in case they want to do. I mean, I've got like Black and Soviet Cuba. And then I've got something that's kind of relevant, former Soviet countries. And it's a map quiz. So they go into this map quiz. And clearly, if I have a sight impaired student, this doesn't help them. Because they can't, I would have to say Russia, number 20. Well, that gives away the answer, right?
Exactly.
So what I do tell students is that if they need to contact me, if they need an alternate map. And so then what I tell them, some people want the alternate map. I'm like, okay, that's a 3-page critical analysis on the region. So So then
Ah.
they don't want to write 3 pages on the
Uh-uh.
Regis. All of a sudden their site is all a whole lot better.
It's like, oh yeah, I did that. I got a magnifying glass. I'm cool.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So I'm like, that's okay. If you can't take the quiz, then, and then again, 3 attempts. It's pretty much open book. They can there's no reason why students can't get 100% on these map quizzes.
Yeah, yeah.
But all of that is with an attempt to bring in some variety. So there's a lot that you can do with your course, even
Love
if you're not meeting with them.
Yeah, yeah. That makes sense. You know what? That makes sense. Because when I'm your course, as we were going through this, I'm thinking this is as good as being face to face, really, actually,
It
because
is.
there's that much engagement and stuff. Do
There
you also
is.
do it face to face or are you completely asynchronous and synchronous?
These are completely asynchronous. I don't ever meet with the students unless
Wow.
it's drop-in office hours,
Wow. This is really cool.
It is because, it's like and I'll say, look here, I'm so cheesy. I even read to them.
So let's do the story time today. This is The War with Mexico, a brief history with documents. Ernesto Chavez. In it, there's a letter from an American officer.
So cheesy, right?
But I
But
think that's so cool.
they don't seem to care that I am being ultra cheesy because they get to see me. It's
Yes.
as if I were reading to them in the class. They get to see that I have idiomatic weirdness with my speech or that I pronounce Chavez, for example. So that all of those things that they would see in our class, they see here. And
Yes.
so, I mean, sometimes I never meet with a student. If they don't come to office hours, we never meet. We never see each other in Zoom or anything.
Wow.
And it is,
Nobody showed up for office hours today on here.
and
Yeah,
clearly
mine.
they should have questions. So the other thing is that I always talk about online teaching as being my TARDIS. It's like Doctor Who. Doctor Who has this little police box that he goes into, and he can travel throughout the universe and then, come back to the 2 minutes later on Earth or wherever. And for me, that's what it is, because it means that if I can't sleep at 3 o'clock in the morning, I can get up and give my students feedback on assignments. I
Yeah.
can create recordings for them. I can travel. We started our BEOI, I was in Mexico, I
Yeah.
was in, cartel war torn area of Mexico even.
Wow.
But I felt safe doing my job because I was home and I had Wi-Fi and I had my computer.
Yes.
So that that it really allows for a lot of flexibility, especially if am not tethered to a Monday, Wednesday class at 9 o'clock. Right?
Mm.
So it opens up my time to be able to have colleague office hours,
Mhm.
because I don't travel now to San Francisco anymore. That saves me about 4 hours a day. I mean,
Yes.
4 hours is huge. My
Yes, I
commute.
know.
I am certain that I have 5 years of my life expectancy back because it was killing me. I was
Yeah.
so stressed on the freeway and then my back and my knees, so it's not good for my body to be on the freeway like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I always make good use of my time. I listen to podcasts, I listen to the news, or sometimes just music or audiobooks, but still, I'm,
I hear you.
you
No, I
know,
do hear you. And that commute is, I lived in San Francisco most of my life. So before moving out to Contra Costa County. And the good thing is I never even expected to teach. I just got asked one time, would you teach this poli-sci 10 course? I was like, okay. And then it just kind of like, oh, okay. But so I got used to, but the good thing was, as I was near, I had moved out to Contra Costa County by then. So we were close to LMC's campus. So that was okay. I am so glad I never had to do the Brentwood campus thing. And now that we're way out here, out of state, it's different. But I had gotten used to Zoom, but I was really, this whole asynchronous thing didn't make any sense to me at all until today. Seriously. And I had already, I had said, okay, I just can't, but I'm serious. You shed a whole nother light on how to do this. No, I'm serious. I'm really serious because this isn't anything that's been any way near intuitive to me. Every time I've gotten an assignment, I've been like, oh my God, what do I do? How do I do that? And I swear I have tried so hard. And I thought each time, okay, I did it right. It's like, no, I did it.
I know. I'm like, oh no. I'm like, it's not connecting. So I'm like,
It
it's
didn't.
not connecting what we're asking for. And so if you go back to the content of our assignments,
Oh, I'm sorry, Monica, hold on. You said there's a student?
Yeah, there's a student in the waiting room.
Oh,
I'll
oh,
let her in and let you know you'll be on this.
oh, okay. I'm so sorry. I have a student that's in the waiting room now,
that-
finally.
that's okay. Or I'll send you the recording so you can go over it.
Thank you. I'm serious. Thank you so much. And I promise now I'm going to be a 50 gazillion% better student. Thank you so
Okay,
much.
well, have fun and a beautiful day.
Thank you. You too. And thank you again.
Bye.